Power Insider. Modern military analysis, real-time battlefield response. When the sky suddenly trembles in silence and the steel ghosts quietly vanish after a precise lightning strike, this is no longer war, but the art of destruction. Today, Power Insider will take you to explore the underground front, where the F-35 is just the beginning, and the darkness beneath the earth is the real battlefield. In the quiet sky over Yemen's territory, something invisible silently glided by without being detected by any radar. With no prior warning, only a silent waiting. Then, in an instant, the entire land shook violently. But this was not just an ordinary airstrike. It was a crucial part of a major intelligence operation aimed at eliminating a dangerous underground base. What really happened? What is that invisible force in the skies over Yemen? Let's uncover the secrets step by step through the footsteps of the airborne warriors. At night, an Israeli F-35 Ayadir fighter squadron silently glides over the rugged mountains in northern Yemen, untouchable and completely undetected. Their mission was not to show off their strength, but to take out a convoy believed to be carrying top leaders of the Houthi forces' targets marked in red on Tel Aviv's highest threat list. In just a few minutes, the sky ignited brilliantly and everything changed completely. This was not a mass bombing operation. The convoy moving deep into rugged terrain was continuously monitored and identified as an extremely important target. Israel's F-35 fighter jets, equipped with advanced stealth technology and precision-guided weapons accurate to within a meter, executed the strike in the most flawless manner. A series of compact GBU-39 bombs were dropped, each seemingly locked onto a specific vehicle. The first bomb exploded loudly without any warning, followed by a series of consecutive blasts that caused the entire convoy to vanish completely from Israel's infrared screen. What sets this mission apart is not only the technology, but also the absolute precision in timing. Each bomb is programmed to detonate in sequence, with a margin of error of less than 3 feet, like a perfectly orchestrated symphony of war. Not only does Israel aim to inflict casualties, but it also intends to completely wipe them out. The armored vehicles and signal-jamming vehicles were destroyed before they could slip through the narrow escape routes in the mountainous area. This airstrike also marked a turning point in Israel's strategy. Instead of passively reacting to rocket launches or drone attacks from a safe distance, this time they took the initiative to strike directly at the center of power. Clear message. Any future threat will be met with precision and overwhelming force, leaving no room for warnings or concessions. According to Israeli military sources, this target had been monitored for several weeks, but the timing of the attack was carefully chosen to minimize civilian casualties and ensure maximum effectiveness. Choosing the F-35I, a fighter jet specially upgraded for Israel, is a strategically wise and game-changing decision. This aircraft is capable of long-distance flights at low altitudes, remaining completely invisible to most enemy radar systems. It is also equipped with smart bombs, making it ideal for sophisticated strike missions. This is not merely an attack. It is a powerful declaration asserting superpower status, signaling a new era in the art of modern warfare. When darkness engulfs the war zone, only those who are best prepared will survive. And this time, no one can escape. Using the terrain navigation system, the campaign successfully dismantled deep enemy strongholds within hostile territory. The resounding success of this mission has proven that Israel's reach is no longer confined within its borders, but has penetrated into the darkest corners of opposition facilities. But this was not simply an attack on a convoy. It was the opening of the gateway into a new, highly tense phase of the conflict. The skies over Yemen have now become part of a vast battlefield where intelligence, stealth, and speed determine fate before anyone hears the roar of a jet engine. Although the echoes of the airstrike shook the area behind it, lies a long story rather than a fleeting moment. A sophisticated and powerful intelligence network has been woven in the shadows. It is thanks to this invisible network that this event became a reality. Behind the silence of the airstrikes lies a complex and extensive intelligence effort. This mission could not be completed in just a few days. It is the result of a coordinated hunt across the airland and cyberspace. Israel does not rely solely on brute military force. They utilize an entire intelligence network to identify targets hidden deep within Yemen's rugged terrain. At the heart of the operation was Mossad, Israel's legendary intelligence agency. Working alongside military intelligence units and cybersecurity experts, they had begun monitoring unusual signs weeks before the attack. What draws attention is not a rocket or a drone, but a digital footprint. Satellite images reveal unusual activity in northern Yemen, along with intercepted signals that indicate something major is about to happen. At that moment, Heron UAV drones were launched to silently scan the area. These long-range drones, equipped with advanced cameras and thermal sensors, began mapping every road and valley in detail. They tracked the convoy, searched for signal jamming devices, and even performed facial recognition from a long distance. This is not just a simple reconnaissance operation, but a real-time target confirmation. The convoy was not only detected, but also identified, cross-checked, and precisely targeted. Israel is also investigating financial data and mobile communications. According to defense officials, cryptocurrency transactions between accounts in Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen have formed a pattern consistent with the behavior typical of senior leaders. The artificial intelligence software analyzes the timing and direction of these transactions, linking them to the likelihood of secret meetings taking place. This is how intelligence analysts determine when and where they need to take action. Meanwhile, surveillance satellites silently orbit the Earth, receiving encoded messages that are transmitted and transformed through radio waves. When a convoy begins to move along the known escape route, all data appears to synchronize perfectly. Israel's campaign has reached the pinnacle of combining technological power with strategic intelligence, a game in which the odds are clearly tipping in their favor. Built by Mossad, along with other intelligence branches, this convoy quickly became a high-priority target, the top priority in Israel's defense strategy. The level of coordination in the campaign was so rare that analysts, drone pilots, field agents, and satellite technicians continuously shared data in real time. The Israeli command center does not press the button until every detail is certain. This is not just a battle, but more like a game of chess, where every move has been carefully calculated. Even the timing of the airstrike was chosen precisely when the enemy's jamming equipment was at its weakest, just before the convoy entered the rugged mountain area. This is the modern intelligence war, where every satellite pixel, encrypted signal, or heat signature can change the course of the battle. Israel relies not only on F-35 fighter jets, but also on a silent army made up of eyes machines and algorithms operating covertly behind the scenes. However, just as Israel was preparing to launch its strike, the Houthi forces were simultaneously gearing up for fierce defense. When the bombs began to fall in tents, fighting erupted on multiple fronts. As the Israeli aircraft approached their target, the Houthi fighters realized the threat too late. Just minutes after detecting the unusual air activity, they immediately launched a counterattack, but lacked the strength to stop the impending strike. The sky over Yemen suddenly turned hostile as the Houthis launched missiles in multiple directions to protect the convoy of leaders. There are as many as 3 launch activation points across northern Yemen. 2 missiles are headed toward Israeli territory, while the third is aimed directly at the F-35, preparing to carry out its mission. These actions are believed to be part of a diversified strategy aimed at dispersing Israel's defenses and potentially delaying the airstrike. However, the Israeli military was prepared to respond. Israel's advanced missile defense systems, the A-3, and David's Sling successfully intercepted the rockets heading toward the national border. In recent years, these systems have been upgraded to counter long-range threats and high-speed targets. Both missiles were destroyed mid-air before they could threaten residential areas, confirming the effectiveness of Israel's multi-layered defense strategy. Meanwhile, the missile targeting the F-35 Adir was more urgent than ever. The Houthis hoped to take down the fighter jet before it could release a barrage of bombs. However, the F-35 is not an ordinary fighter jet. Its combination of stealth capabilities, speed, and advanced technology makes it the most challenging target for any threat. As soon as the missile approached, the aircraft immediately switched to defense mode. The onboard system activated a series of bright flares, along with electronic countermeasures. These tools are designed to jam and confuse the missile, helping the F-35 evade danger in an instant. This battle is not merely a confrontation between the Israeli Air Force and the Houthi forces. It also stands as a testament to the supreme power of modern technology, integration, and sharp intelligence tactics in today's era. Every move is carefully calculated, and every counterattack carries a profound strategic objective. This is truly the game of war masters in the Industry 4.0 era, on a highly volatile regional stage. Radar-guided threats are immediately jammed, causing the missile to lose target lock within seconds. The Houthi missile then veered off course and exploded harmlessly in a remote area. The pilot did not need to alter the flight path. Military analysts believe this moment truly demonstrated the real value of the F-35. It's not just about offensive power, but also its survivability and ability to continue the mission even under attack. On the modern battlefield, speed alone is no longer enough. Sensors, jamming devices, and the quick responsiveness of fighter jets are the decisive factors that save both the mission and the aircraft. Although the missiles failed to stop the airstrike, they raised another issue. The Houthi fighters still have enough resources and organization to launch an attack in a very short time. The ability to coordinate defense right in the middle of the airstrike shows they are not alone and are not acting on impulse. Intelligence agencies suspect there is external support, possibly from Iran, contributing to the enhancement of their capabilities. However, the counterattack came too late. Israeli fighter jets continued to dive toward the convoy without interruption. Missiles could light up the sky, but they didn't change the outcome. And as the smoke from the failed defense cleared, Israel was left facing an even deeper mystery. Did the target really manage to escape underground in time? Israel's airstrike hit the target with high precision, but whether it was truly successful remains an unanswered question. The convoy was destroyed in an instant, but there is no clear evidence yet to confirm whether the top leader was among the casualties. This mystery makes the clash even more secretive, entering a deeper and darker phase. It wasn't an air battle, it was a fight underground. After the airstrike, Israel's Heron UAV continued to patrol the area, scanning the night with infrared surveillance cameras and thermal sensors. But hours passed by without any trace confirming the body, nor any clue indicating the presence of the leader amid the rubble. What they discovered was even more alarming: a network of secret tunnel entrances hidden deep within the valley where the convoy was attacked. Military experts believe that this underground tunnel system is part of a massive network built to be extremely sturdy, capable of withstanding even the most advanced modern bombs. According to Israeli intelligence, it is highly likely that the Houthi leader used these escape routes to disappear just seconds before the airstrike hit. Those shelters were not makeshift places. They were systematically built with a long-term strategy and clear support from outside sources. For many years, Iran has developed the art of underground warfare architecture from Lebanon to Syria. In Yemen, they employed reverse tunneling techniques starting from the lowest point in the mountain gorge to avoid detection by ground-penetrating radar. Engineers from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) have even used fiberglass-reinforced concrete to slow down the penetration speed of modern bombs. Some tunnel sections have a honeycomb structure separating each functional block to prevent a chain reaction in case of an attack. This means that even if one branch is hit, The rest of the bunker remains intact, maintaining the command and communication system. Evidence shows that Iran played a direct role in building this network. Over the past year, Israel. The satellite has recorded the movement of materials and technical equipment being transported into northern Yemen. Many of these shipments depart from ships or airplanes flying the Iranian flag, operating under the guise of humanitarian aid. However, when unloaded, these goods are often transported to remote mountainous areas far removed from any civilian needs. This underground system is not just a simple shelter, but also serves as command centers, weapons storage, and escape routes. Reinforced with multiple layers of concrete, they are capable of withstanding most types of conventional ammunition. Therefore, even though the ground has been destroyed, Israeli officials still cannot celebrate. Until there is physical confirmation of the target's death, the operation is not yet complete. The Israeli military is currently facing a new challenge monitoring activities beneath the surface of the ground. The Heron drone continues to monitor the area, but thermal imaging technology has limitations when operating underground. Ground-penetrating radar can be deployed next, but this requires additional equipment and may need support from foreign partners. What started as an airstrike has now turned into a manhunt amid the concrete and stone jungle. Some Israeli defense experts warn that if swift action is not taken, Houthi leaders could regroup in underground tunnels and then re-emerge with even greater strength. If the underground system remains intact, it will serve as a solid shield for future operations. And assuming this leader is still alive, the main objective of the strike to sever command and eliminate the threat will fail. This is why Israel believes it's time to deploy more powerful firepower. And there's only one type of weapon in the world that can accomplish what the F-35 jets have started. Israel has reached a point where even their most advanced fighter jets can no longer complete missions on their own. After the F-35 attack in Yemen, Israeli defense officials realized that the war might have to rely on something even more powerful, the U.S. Air Force's B-2 Spirit bomber. This aircraft is not just a weapon of destruction. It is the only platform capable of striking targets located more than 200 feet underground. The Israeli Air Force understands that the underground bunker system protecting the supreme leader is beyond the reach of standard weapons. Built with multiple layers of reinforced concrete and hidden deep within the Sada mountain range, these bunkers are designed to withstand heavy airstrikes. Even the precision-guided GBU-39 bombs carried by F-35 aircraft are not powerful enough to penetrate to this depth. It's no surprise that Israel has officially requested the United States' assistance in using the GBU-57 bunker buster bomb, which weighs over 30,000 pounds, a bomb capable of tearing through anything in its path. The war has now entered a dramatic new chapter, as the most advanced equipment is deployed to turn the tide beneath Yemen's treacherous underground terrain. There is only one type of aircraft capable of carrying this weapon, the B-2 Spirit, one of the world's rare stealth bombers. Although rarely used in warfare each time it takes off, it signals a major military decision. If the United States agrees to participate in the operation, this will not be just an ordinary airstrike. That will be a strategic message sent not only to the Houthi forces, but also to Iran and other distant observers. The objective of the attack is very clear: to completely level the entire command system hidden underground. If the B-2 strikes with its full power, the network of tunnels will be reduced to rubble, cutting off communications, escape routes, and supply lines. This destruction not only targets the Houthi leadership, but also prevents the use of these fortified bases in future operations. For Israel, time is running out. Military sources report that as long as the underground tunnel system remains intact each day, the risk that surviving leaders will regroup or rebuild their lost assets continues to grow. The longer the U.S. delays, the smaller the chance that the initial airstrike will be highly effective. For this reason, Israeli diplomats are urging Washington to take action before the opportunity slips away. Deploying the B-2 into the operation is not to demonstrate firepower, but to ensure the mission objectives are fully accomplished. If an airstrike is intended to eliminate a threat, it must remove the enemy's ability to hide and regroup. Only a deep infiltration mission can guarantee that outcome. But while Israel waits, that decision is no longer purely a military one. It has become a political issue. Now all eyes are on Washington. Israel's latest strike may have delivered a shock on the battlefield, but they are facing a challenge that no fighter jet can handle alone. Deep within the mountain range of Yemen, the reinforced network of underground tunnels believed to be where the surviving leaders are hiding remains intact. Israel understands that these tunnels were built to withstand airstrikes. And no matter how precise the F-35's weapons are, they are not powerful enough to destroy them. That is why Israel officially requested assistance from its closest ally, the United States. A very specific and urgent request: deploy the B-2 Spirit bomber, the only aircraft in the world capable of carrying the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator. The penetrator, also known as the MOP, is a 30,000-pound bomb designed for a single purpose: to penetrate thick layers of rock or concrete, crushing targets deep underground. But the GBU-57 is not just a bunker-busting bomb. It is a psychological weapon striking directly at the strategic belief that hiding is safe. With the ability to penetrate more than 200 feet of rock and soil and generate shock waves with a destructive radius exceeding 1,000 feet, the GBU-57 can bury an entire bunker system as if it never existed. While the F-35's GBU-39 bomb can penetrate a maximum of about 5 feet of concrete, the massive ordnance penetrator MOP is a beast designed to crush well-fortified underground bunkers. Weapons experts believe that if the B-2 is deployed, the attack will involve a multi-layered tactic: first seismic sensor drones to accurately determine the depth, followed by the main MOP strike, and finally medium-range UAVs to search for any survivors. This will no longer be an airstrike, but rather a tactical dissection underground. Based on the targets in the rugged Sada Mountain area, the tunnels believed to extend for miles underground are becoming the focal point of the underground battle. According to intelligence reports, these tunnels were designed with assistance from Iran and contain command centers' escape routes and secret weapons caches. If the leader survived the F-35 airstrike, it is very likely that he is hiding in this underground fortress. The F-35 is designed for precise and stealthy strikes, ideal for targeting convoys or surface-level targets, but it lacks the capability to penetrate deeply underground. Meanwhile, the MOP bomb is a completely different story. With the ability to penetrate more than 197 feet of earth before detonating, it generates a shock wave powerful enough to collapse the entire tunnel system. Such a strike could sever communication between the Houthi leadership and their combat forces, preventing further attacks originating from underground. For Israel, the situation is extremely serious. If the tunnels remain intact, the enemy still retains their headquarters. But if they are destroyed, the entire network could collapse. Requesting support from the U.S. is not just about destructive power. It's also a matter of timing. Israeli officials are concerned that delays could give the Houthis an opportunity to regroup or further entrench their positions, making future airstrikes more difficult. The deployment of B-2 bombers will also send an important message worldwide. The United States stands firmly alongside its allies and will not allow covert threats to grow unchecked. At the same time, it asserts that when modern enemies hide beneath the ground, the United States has both the tools and the will to locate and eliminate them. But while Israel prepares for the next step, Washington faces a heated debate over whether to take action, a decision that could change the future of the conflict, as well as America's standing in the region. However, it's not just Israel and the U.S. watching the battlefield. Russia, already strengthening its influence in Syria, has warned that any airstrike operations expanding into Yemeni territory could be seen as further complicating the Middle East region. China, with its Belt and Road projects passing through the port of Aden, is also quietly monitoring signals from the United States. Meanwhile, Iran-backed militia groups in Iraq, such as Kataib Hezbollah and Asaib al-Haq, have openly declared their readiness to open a third front if the B-2 bomber appears in the skies over the Middle East. An airstrike could trigger a chain reaction, spreading throughout the entire region far beyond the scope of a single operation. When Israel called for support, Washington faced not only a military decision, but also a choice between acting swiftly or allowing a growing threat to strengthen in the shadows. Within the Pentagon, opinions are deeply divided. Some leaders have suggested waiting for more data, while others warn that hesitation only gives Iran-backed groups more time to prepare new attacks. Military experts assess that the Houthi tunnels are not only shelters, but also fully operational bases. If the U.S. allows these bases to remain operational, they could become missile launch sites or weapons transit points through secret routes. A swift and powerful strike at this moment could turn the tide of the battlefield and completely eliminate the threat. Amid escalating tensions, many voices are calling for measures to prevent a larger conflict in the future. At the same time, public opinion is gradually shifting. With over 700,000 Americans living in or around Israel, many families back home are eager for strong protection from the government. A recent survey shows that 58% of Americans support limited military action if it helps reduce Iran's influence in the region. This number has increased since the precise missile attack on an Israeli port in April of last year. The deployment of B-2 bombers is not merely a military maneuver, but also a powerful message sent to Iran. It clearly demonstrates that the U.S. is not just all talk, but ready to take action. This kind of pressure could force Iran to reconsider its policy of supporting proxy military groups. However, there are still concerns that any attack could trigger retaliation, ranging from cyber attacks to shelling targeting U.S. forces. Meanwhile, some believe that waiting only increases the risk of failure, arguing that this is not a choice for war, but rather a way to maintain control before it becomes too late. While all attention is focused on airstrikes and political maneuvers, Iran may be quietly preparing for the next round of conflict. Satellite images show Iranian cargo ships docking at ports controlled by Houthi forces in Yemen, frequently changing their names to conceal their origin. Intelligence reports reveal that these shipments contain not only food and medicine, but also containers designed to hide weapons such as missile components, drones, and advanced communication systems. All signs indicate that this is a larger strategy, not just a temporary reaction to the recent airstrikes by Israel. At the same time, new tunnels are being constructed deep underground in northern Yemen, built to be sturdy enough to withstand bunker-buster bomb attacks. Analysts believe that these tunnels are supported by Iran and could serve as forward bases for future attacks. The ceasefire announced earlier this year seems to have been a smokescreen. While the public heard calls for peace, Iran may have taken advantage of this lull to move weapons and prepare new combat plans. This strategy was previously employed by Iran in Lebanon and Iraq, where they secretly strengthened proxy military forces during earlier periods of relative calm. Now, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are calling for increased military support from the United States as concerns spread throughout the region. Experts warn that if Iran continues to supply weapons to groups like the Houthis, the Gulf region could face a new wave of threats. The greatest risk is that the conflict is gradually moving underground, and if the world does not act promptly, the consequences could be unpredictable. The next attack might not come from the sky, but could emerge from underground tunnels deep beneath the surface. The convoy has disappeared from sight, yet the fate of the leader remains a big question mark. Israel has launched a powerful strike, but the real battle, the deeper conflict, is only just beginning. The impact of Tehran is spreading underground, and calls for intervention from the United States are growing increasingly urgent. One undeniable truth is becoming clear: this battle cannot be won by air power alone. If the enemy is hiding beneath the surface, then the final battle will be decided in the darkness, a place no one can see, yet no one can escape. But the bigger question remains. If the enemy is hiding underground, is traditional military strategy still strong enough? And if future warfare is buried deep within the earth, where unmanned weapons, seismic sensors, and tactical AI are the keys, which nation is truly prepared for this new battlefield? From the silent ghost in the F-35 sky to the seismic shock underground from the B-2 and GBU-57, Power Insider believes we are witnessing a turning point in modern warfare where the winner isn't necessarily the one who fires the first shot, but the one who can read the map of darkness. And so, Power Insider brings you in-depth exclusive analyses from the perspectives of leading military strategy experts and top political researchers at this very moment. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to support us in continuing to deliver high-quality content and in-depth analysis. Please leave your comments below and stay tuned for our next video. See you in the upcoming analysis articles.